AG Toyota stood looking out over the vast Ford factory in Dearborn, Michigan, a factory that could produce 7,000 cars a day. No doubt he thought about his family-owned business back home, the Toyota Motor Company, that was barely producing 200 cars a year and was near bankruptcy. He could have been dismayed, but what AG said was telling. He said, there are some possibilities to improve the Ford production system. The year was 1950, and Toyota did improve their production system over and over and over again. And in 1981, a book by the same name called it The Machine That Changed the World. And in 2008, Toyota became the world's largest automaker. Well, how did they do it, and why should we care? They did it by using common sense techniques that aren't that common, and we should care because everything we do in life is a system. From getting up in the morning to getting to work on time, to getting up in the morning and not getting to work on time, to getting married, to going skiing, it's all a system. And we can use the techniques of the Toyota production system to improve our lives. Now that's a pretty geeky idea. But for the next 7 minutes, join me on the geek side. There just may be some possibilities to improve your life systems. The Toyota production system starts off by defining value. And to Toyota, value is what the customer is willing to pay for. Likewise, for you and I, value is what we're willing to pay for with our time, our effort, our money, like going fishing, for instance. We might even call it meaning, but I'm going to use the value term here. The next thing that Toyota does is create flow to value. Now, flow is defined by psychologists as the most productive way for people to accomplish something. You lose track of time, there's very little waste, and you get to what you want to in the end. Well, how does Toyota create flow? Well, let's look at mass production first, the opposite of Toyota process system. And this is grossly simplified, but here's mass production. You get all the parts you can, you make all the engines you can, put them in all the chassis you can, make all the cars you can, and at the end of the day, you hope you get what you got and what you wanted. Now, Toyota couldn't do mass production. Remember, they were almost bankrupt. They didn't have that kind of capital. So instead of creating this push system, they used a pull system. And it goes something like this. There's a white Toyota Camry on a car lot somewhere, and that's just what the customer wants. So they buy it and they drive away. And somewhere in the Toyota factory is a white Toyota Camry with everything but the tires and the wheels. And they put the tires and the wheels on and they send that out. And right up in front of that is a white Toyota Camry with everything but the tires and the wheels and the doors. And they put the doors on and they move it forward for the tires and the wheels. And they do that all the way up the production chain, all the way to parts. And they create flow with as little waste as possible, right down to exactly what you want. Now, how does that work in our lives? Well, it's Sunday night, and you want to get everything you can done the next week. So you're going to schedule everything you can. You got to take the kids to basketball practice, and you got to go shopping, and you got to wash the clothes and change the doorknob, and you want to go out Tuesday night and have some drinks, and you want to go skiing next weekend. And you hope after that hectic week, next Sunday night, you got what you wanted. There's a better way, and it's the Toyota way. It's like this. The most value you're going to have all week is you want to go skiing at Big Sky next weekend. So Friday night, you want to leave right after work. So Thursday night, you're going to do all the packing. And Wednesday night, you're going to get groceries and put them in the cooler. And Tuesday night, you're going to wash the clothes. And on Monday night, since you're going with your wife and 3 kids to Big Sky, you're going to take a second mortgage out on your home. But you created flow to what you wanted. Now you put the other things in your schedule. And yes, you try and create flow, the other things that have value. But don't pack it too tight, because the law of utilization says if you do more than about 80%, you're going to get less out of a system. And we've all been there with so much on our list, we never got what we wanted done, right? Now I know what you're saying. You're saying, oh, wouldn't it be great if we could just schedule and life would be so good? I mean, we all got cell phones with scheduling apps, right? And you know what's going to happen. Friday night, you're going to be ready to leave town. It's like, Johnny, why didn't you tell me your socks had holes in it? And who ate the peanut butter we were going to take? And honey, I thought you were going to schedule the hotel. Yeah, I've been there. I know. And so does the Toyota production system. You see, the Toyota production system is actually a loving system. Oh, yes, it is, as weird as that sounds. Because Toyota realizes the vast majority of time, it's not the person, it's the system that has the person trapped in it. That's what you need to improve. In fact, one of the experts said, a bad system will beat a good person every time. So what you want to do is don't blame each other. Look at your systems and fix those. Well, how does Toyota fix their production system? Well, let's say they have a problem in the system. They ask, why? Why do we have this problem? Let's take a look at this. Then when they come up with the reason for it, they come up with a plan that they're going to use to improve the system. Then they do the plan. Then they check, did that work? And then they act on that and make that the new standard, the way they do things. And they do it over and over until they improve their system. Never perfection, always continuously improving. Well, how can we use that? Well, let's take our example of the one in the motel. Why didn't you? Why didn't I? I don't know. It wasn't on my list. It wasn't on your list. That's why. Let's do this. Let's make a list so that the next time we go on vacation, it goes well. Okay, that's our plan. Now we're going to do our plan. We're going to check our plan, and we're going to act on it. Yeah, that worked. That's how we're going to go on vacation, and maybe we'll do that over again. Then you might say, lists and standard procedures. I don't want to be trapped by that. You're not trapped. Standards will set you free. If you walk in every night and you put your keys in a standard spot, you'll never lose your keys again. The last thing that Toyota does is empower their people. In 1950, when they were bankrupt, they had to lay off a quarter of their people. You just don't lay off people in Japan. So they guaranteed the other 3/4 that would stay, you will help us run this corporation. And this is how that works. You got a guy on the front line. He's trying to put a part on a car, and it's not fitting. He can stop that whole production line. And he gets engineers and managers and schedulers come around, and they look at that, and they work together to solve that problem. And at some point, they solve that problem for good. And if an employee sees an opportunity, he says, I know what to do. They have all these suggestion committees. Man, we should do this. We'll be so much better off. And that suggestion gets a real hearing. And if it's going to help that corporation, they do it. Now, I encourage you to empower yourself in life. How many times do we go, here we go, another hectic week, another hectic weekend? Stop. You don't need to live that way. And you can get help to solve those problems. And by the same token, if you got something you want to do, don't wish it away. Empower yourself. Go after it. If Toyota can do it for cars, you can do it in your lives. Well, I hope you enjoyed this walk on the geek side for the last 7 minutes. And I hope you found some ideas worth sharing. So remember, define value in your life and take flow and get to it. Don't look at the people in your lives as the problem. Look at the systems. Improve the systems in your lives and empower yourself to change your life. There just may be some possibilities to improve your life systems.